Okay, so today it's about anger. When I came here 6 years ago, I started in LA working with people. I discovered that a lot of the anger is suppressed. So I want us to start in your childhood. In the mindset, we don't go to the childhood a lot. This is not the main thing. We want to focus on the present in order to change the future. But I just want to understand a little bit that you will understand about your relationship with anger when you were a child. When you are a child, was it okay to express anger? Teenagers are so angry, right? And we were there as well. And sometimes the anger is justified for many reasons. You don't have freedom. You don't have enough money to do whatever you want. You didn't choose your roommates, your parents. You need to sit and study things that is not sometimes are boring. So anger, right? Oh, very, very authentic anger. Was it okay for you as a child to express anger at your home with your parents? Or your parents told you, go to your room, calm yourself down. This is, by the way, not so good because then later on, when you're an adult, you are sending yourself to the room to calm yourself down. Sometimes external room, sometimes internal room. I'm going to, suppress myself and suppress the anger. I don't know if your parents it was okay when you are crying. Oh, you are crying, so I'll give you a hug. And then anger, no, this is rude. Maybe you experienced a parent that was angry, that was really angry, sometimes violent. Um, Violent physically, emotionally, mentally, verbally. So then what you learn is anger is dangerous. Yeah. Who learned that anger is dangerous? Raise your hand. It's not okay to be angry. Okay, thank you. Who learned that to suppress the anger, that it's better not to show. Yeah, it's very common, right? I think even I didn't express authentic anger as a child. Yeah, I was more in survival mode. And then later on, many things can happen. And now I want you to start to think about yourself. So some people suppress anger through eating. You're angry, so you go to eat. It was so, I worked with food, relationship with food for many years in Israel. And I discovered that to numb the feeling, to suppress the anger, food is a solution for many people. I have a story that I always tell, and I remember this man until today. He came because he wanted to lose weight, and he tried so many programs before. And then we got to the session about anger. So every time I teach a journey, one of the sessions, of course, is about anger. And then I remember that one day he was on his way to work and he decided to stop in the post office in Israel. And he was waiting in line, a little bit late to work, but not too much. And then a man came as a young man and cut in line. It can happen. And he was like calming himself down, don't say anything. It's okay, we still have time. And then a woman and a child came, cut in line. He was already angry inside, but he learned that it's not okay to share anger. And he couldn't just go to work after he finished in the post office. He just went to home and ate a lot. And there are many small stories like that. And then we discovered that the overeating connected to anger, it can do diets, hundreds of years, it will not help. We'll need to work with the anger. Some people numb themselves with screens. I want you this week to check it for yourself. When you find yourself watching series after series, episode after episode, just stop for a second. Maybe it's not the case, but just to check, right? We are a lab. We want to check, to learn about ourselves. And put it aside for 10 minutes and sit with yourself, just checking. Are you avoiding something? Something not comfortable. It doesn't have to be anger, but something not comfortable, and how can you work with that? Screens is very common, by the way, also with teenagers to avoid feelings. Another thing is sleep, just to sleep it out. You feel angry, you go to sleep, you wake up, you forgot everything. So you see that there are many mechanisms how to suppress anger. A very common one is thinking about the anger. Yeah. Instead of feeling the anger. Now we are going into separation between the mind and heart soon. If you heard about the mindset before, you read about the mindset, you know that we use a lot the modality of the separation between the mind, heart, and center. We'll talk about it soon. a lot. Another thing that people do is suppress anger. You know, those people that never angry, all the time smiling and nice, never angry. And it's not healthy. Where is all this black, you know, where do you put the anger? In your chest, in your belly, on your shoulders, and then sicknesses. It's so important to work with anger. And now we are going to move to the separation. It's my favorite part. So if you think about young kids, they're free. I don't know if you remember yourself as a toddler, or do you have kids in your life, and you know that they're free to express. You know, you see sometimes kids in the mall, right? Like laying down, you know, angry. One time I saw a kid do it, and the parents also was laying down and doing it with him. I loved it, like catharsis. We do it in workshop, but we don't do it in the mall or in the, you know, on the road. But we are free. We are born free to express, to sing, to dance, to be playful, to be silly, to be angry, to cry, to hug. Right? Do you remember a time like that? Raise your hand if you remember a time like that. Even a short time. Good. Not many people. 4 or 5 people. And then what happened? Something happened and the mind took over. The mind started to work. We are not born thinking. Something happened. You move the country, you need to learn a new language, parents divorce, something at home, something at school with friends. You learn that you are alone. You felt sad. You felt fear. Everybody experienced things like that. And we don't need a lot. As children, we're so soft. We don't need a lot. Something happened to you. Think about it. Write for a second. The first thing I wanted to write is about relationship with anger and the childhood. It's very interesting to explore that. And the second is, when the mind took over, when did you start to overthink? For me, it happened in the age of 4, my parents divorced. I remember the night even that it happened, a lot of screaming. They're so busy arguing. And then what happened to you, right? And then we suppressed our emotion. And we suppressed our emotion, and sometimes the emotions are also anger, right? And the mind becomes strong. Other people, their heart becomes strong, and then they become more dramatic. They cannot focus at school. But basically, we lose the inner balance that we had, the harmony, the dream world. It's like the time that you are still, everything is beautiful and shining. If you didn't have a time like that, by the way, of freedom in early childhood, sometimes it's hard for you to believe it's possible. So with students like that, it's always a little bit more complicated because they need to believe that that you can see the beauty, that you can be happy, that you are safe. But if you had a memory like that or years like that, so you are longing for it. You really want to come back to this feeling of just being who you are, being at ease, right? When the mind becomes strong and the heart is suppressed, some people are still angry. A lot of the anger that I meet in daily life or with people that I work with is anger from the mind. I want to divide today the anger that is authentic. Let's say somebody is attacking you physically. I hope it will never happen. You can feel anger through the body. You protect yourself, right? And the anger will give you energy. Suddenly you are alert. This anger is authentic. This anger is healthy. We need this anger. We receive this anger to protect ourselves. You know, according to Buddhism, anger is not a poison. Many spiritual paths, you know, they want you not never to be angry, just to accept and compassion and love. But sometimes we need the anger, like when we're under attack, right? And all other kinds of attack. We'll talk about it soon. What are the reasons, the authentic reasons to be angry? Not only physical attack. There are more than that. And most of the people, and I want you to think about yourself, it's anger from the mind. It's like putting logs in the bonfire. Let me think about my husband. I can be angry in a second. Why didn't send me flowers this week? Why didn't send this email? Why I can 4 or 5 thoughts and boom, I hope he's not in the webinar. Okay. Oh, I'm angry, right? Easy, easy. Think about somebody and put logs in the fire. You're angry. This is not authentic anger. This is anger that you create. This is the suffering that the Buddha talked about, the suffering that we cause ourselves. I'm talking about the anger that is really rare. Yeah. Of course, we will learn today how to deal with the anger from the mind. But this is probably, if you're here in the webinar, you have anger from your mind, because anger from the heart, from the body is really rare, and it's healthy. Or maybe you'll discover today that part of your anger is justified. And you're angry for a reason, and maybe you need to change something in your life. This is easier, by the way, than working with the anger from the mind. So let's pause for a second and think about authentic reasons to be angry. What do you think? Think about your life. What do you think can create anger that comes from the body? Somebody wants to share, it will be great. Wow. If not, I'll give the answers, but I wanted to have time to think about it for a second. So, of course, physical attack, right? What else? You can write in the chat also if you want. Another reason I will help you. Another reason is if somebody takes your freedom, right? If you don't have freedom, it can create anger. And the anger is energy. It can help you pierce through and find your freedom. So freedom is not only physical, right? For example, like I said, teenagers they don't have enough freedom to be themselves. They're stuck basically. Sometimes they're very boring school with teachers that hate the profession and teaching it for 40 years. I had a teacher like that. And again, you see, she's miserable and I'm miserable with her and I'm stuck there and I'm angry. Why do I need to be here? Right? And this is taking my freedom, my time. Right? So who is taking your freedom away? Sometimes it's not from outside. It's you are taking the freedom to yourself. Your mind is taking your freedom. We deserve to have freedom. And then you think that you are angry about other people, but basically you're angry at your mind. I'm throwing many ideas today. If something like resonate with you, write it. So freedom, what else? Justify reason, injustice. So this is, it depends. We can open a conversation about it. It's true, but we can, because sometimes the mind think about the war, about life, about poverty, and we can go on and on and on and be angry forever, right? And we don't want that. It's not healthy. Yes, we want to create change in the world, but we can change a little bit, right? Or whatever, depends. We cannot change everything, unfortunately. So this is, we can talk about it more about what is your responsibilities. And if there is injustice in your own home or community, yes, we can feel angry. And then when we feel angry, we need to act upon it. Soon we'll talk about it. Not being heard and understood. This is very hard. Usually, yes, I can relate to that, Jennifer. So when you're not being heard and many times can create sadness. I want you to check. As a child, I'm not seen. It's different not to be seen or not to be heard. Not to be seen can create sadness, sometimes anger. You don't hear me. I'm here. You don't hear me. Many kids are saying that, right? When I'm a little bit not focused with my kid, Emma, my 7 years old, say, Ima, like wake up already. But sometimes the ego wants to be too much, to be heard too much. So again, I want you to explore it and see if it's the mind or the heart. If you're really not being heard by your own partner or kids or friends, it can bring pain, it can bring anger. Or sometimes the mind, the ego, just to want to be heard. And then we need to change the volume a little bit. Of course, verbal attack, Mary Beth. Yes, if somebody is belittling you, it's so hard to build self-confidence. This is my work, right? I'm helping people to trust themselves. It's not easy. It takes time, and it's so easy to destroy it, especially in the beginning. When you are strong enough, nobody can hurt you. Really, it's very hard to hurt me. Very hard. It's rare. When you have the connection with life, when you have your meditation, when you have the mirror, the clean mirror, it's very hard to be hurt by other people because you see their mirrors is not clean. Sometimes it is, and you learn from it. You're not getting hurt. But if you are still in the journey, and if somebody is belittling you, it can really, really hurt. And I want you to listen to this anger, to hear this anger. This anger is justified. And soon we'll talk what to do with it, right? Rejection is nice. I mean, it's sweet. I think more sadness, maybe. I want you to explore it. If somebody rejects me, it's very personal. I can be sad. Yeah. And then the mind can take the anger and start to attack or build a case. Yeah. Sometimes the mind can build a case about people just not to feel the pain. The mind prefer to attack other people to convince you that the problem is outside, while it's not, while it's between the mind and the heart. So many times we get hurt, we don't want to feel the pain, so we attack or withdraw. So it depends. Everything is beautiful what you wrote, and we can open the conversation and see. By the way, you can book 15 minutes with me, and we'll talk about a specific anger. And now what to do with it. Let's say you are angry and you understand that it's authentic anger from the heart, from the body. It's like, something is wrong. I'm under attack. What do you do with it? We cannot ignore it. We don't want to suppress it. We don't want to be like our parents or our teachers and suppress ourselves, right? We want to understand it. So when the real anger comes, the wave of anger, we don't want to talk to anybody. We don't want to change any contract. We prefer not to lash out on people, and you will never be able to change a contract or to be clear when you're angry, right? So the best way is just to go and to meditate with it and to journal about it and to hit the pillow and to do breath work and to express it and to shout it out and to sweat it out. There are so many ways we can express anger. Today, if we'll have time, we'll do a little bit of Zen shout, also a great way to express anger. So basically, we have ways we can do it, not to keep it inside. It's not healthy. Imagine like it's a black energy that wants to come out. It's too strong to keep it inside. It's not healthy to keep it inside. So you need to find your own way, to just do it. When COVID hit, my kids were angry. So many things canceled. They didn't have freedom, right? And then I live in the Presidio, and we went to the park, and I said, scream it out, scream, I scared the bird. And they just were every day every day, I think for a year or more, like we did that. And it was so nice for me, by the way, as well. And also when I give sessions, the anger sessions to people or groups, I also do it. Why not, right? I remember there is a beautiful, beautiful meditation that's called dynamic meditation, that is all about anger. And when I did it for a long time. It's 1 hour meditation a day. I can share it with you somehow if you write me an email. And I was angry. And in the beginning, let's say you woke up in the morning, you are not angry, right? Like, how can I access the anger? But the thing is like, fake it until you make it. And you start to think about what happened to you, and you start to like invite the anger. And you know what? It's coming. It will come. One time I participated as a student in an anger workshop, and it was in a room with padded walls. And I didn't understand the beginning when I came to the workshop. It looked strange. Why the wall are padded? After a few hours, I understood. People are hitting the wall so strong until sometimes there was blood in the wall. Believe it, like this is some people will really never touch anger. So there is a way. And I remember this specific day after months that I worked with anger, that I started the meditation. I didn't have anger. I had to invent. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I cleaned my cellars. It's not endless. If you accumulate anger in your life, it's not endless, but we need to take care not to continue and build more and hold more and more anger. And this is the responsibility of taking responsibility on your anger and work with it. And this is why you're here today. So anger from the past we can clean, but not to create new ones. What does it mean? First of all, to understand the difference between anger that you create, that you think negative thoughts, that you really build a case and you create the anger, and anger that is authentic and it's like a wake up call, and he's telling you, like, do something. It's not fair. It's wrong. You need to do something. Somebody is hurting me physically, emotionally, mentally. Something is wrong. Not only it can be something outside. And with this anger, after we express it, like I said before, it's good also to change reality. I call it changing a contract with people. In the 9 weeks journey, in the last session, we talk about changing the contract. If we change a contract, like I'm thinking about things you said here, verbal attack, if somebody is attacking you verbally or doing something that is injustice or not hearing you, not understanding you, and need to repeat again and again, and you're not being heard or being seen, it can be hard. So then it will repeat itself. And by the way, if it will not repeat itself with the same person, it will repeat itself with other people because you have something to learn. So changing a contract, you cannot do it from the mind and you cannot do it from the heart, not from the emotions. When you do it through emotion, very emotional, you're not clear. Suddenly it looks like a big wave came and people can be overwhelmed and not really understanding you. If you do it from the mind, usually it sounds like a little bit like you are criticizing them, right? Like you are pointing and saying you did something wrong. And then usually when people are under attack, or they will withdraw or they will attack back. So it will not help. Changing reality is only from a very peaceful place. After you express the anger, you clean the judgment and the criticism, and then you understand that there is something to change. It's not okay. And you talk about your feelings. For example, not being heard or understood, it's very easy because you say very clear things. When you behave like that, I feel I'm angry. I feel not seen. They can change it or not. But you talk about yourself. You give them the freedom to change or not to change. And this is basically creating relationship and leading relationship from the center. We cannot do it when we are angry. I love working with anger. I feel that anger is a tool. I feel that we need anger to do the inner work. It gives the willpower. Like I've had enough. It's like I need the anger. Many times, if you're angry as a child and you suppressed it, it boiled into sadness. So anger that sits long time, it's red, it's alive, it's healthy, but it's turning to sadness. And then sadness can turn into depression. So if somebody depressed come to me, I know that we'll do the work, not understanding it more through the body, somatic work, or they will do the work with many meditations that are more active, and then sadness will come, and it's not endless as well. We drain the sadness, and then pure anger comes, and I love it, because when anger comes, I know that we are on the way out. It will not stay. But the anger is the willpower. Like, I've had enough. I've had enough from this overthinking mind. I've had enough for people belittling me. I've had enough for mind belittling me. I just want change. So basically, we work a lot with this energy. It's only energy. It's pure and young energy. So now, soon I will open this for questions. I want you to ask questions. Then I can really help and we can dive deeper. And you also help other people if you ask a question, because everybody came for the same reason about anger. But I think that the big message today is really the difference between anger from the mind and the heart. There are people that are all the time a little bit angry. This is not authentic anger. It's like if there is a scale, so here the zero is all is well. All is well now. Now is all is well, right? I hope. You don't have pain in your body. I hope that you're not thirsty or hungry. You don't need to go to the bathroom. I hope that everything is okay. If everything okay, so no reason to be angry right now. But some people, it's always stuck. So it's stuck, and there is, anger, like there is a buzz. So this, again, we need to check if it's coming from the past or it's all ongoing negative thoughts. If I wake up in the morning and start to think about the injustice in the world, by the way, reading news, you can immediately be angry, right? Find something to be angry about. And I will think, about people that disappointed me and they're not okay, and why this and why that. We'll be angry, right? We'll be really, really angry. This is not needed. This is not the anger we talk about. This is anger that it's only thoughts. And there are many ways to work with that, to just release the thoughts and work with the thoughts and learn how to meditate and to find the gap between the thoughts. And then we need to really, this is your responsibility. We don't want this anger in the world. It can be really hurtful. And usually when we are angry like that, we also drain other people's energy. So our responsibility is anger from the mind, understanding the signs of the body, and then changing reality. Those are the stages. So now, before questions, I want us to practice one beautiful practice that called the Zen shout. Okay? And please raise your hand. If you have a question, raise your hand. I want to know how many questions we have, just that I will be attentive of the time. So I want you to sit straight, go to the edge of the chair. Okay, the edge of the chair. Open your chest. If you can turn on the video, it's great. If not, it's okay. The way we do it is like that. Don't do it yet. First of all, you will not move the upper part of the body when you shout. You want to keep the shoulders down, and this is not moving. The shout will come from the belly, from the hara. Yeah? Ha! Yeah? And soon you will take a deep breath. No, you're muted, don't worry. A deep breath to the belly and shout like this. Ha! I hope you could hear that. You could hear that, or good. So the way you do it is like that. We'll start slow. Take deep breath to the belly, and then when you exhale, make a sound like huh, low sound, like not this no, huh, huh. I want you to see that you do it. Yeah, like really deep and powerful sound. Huh. Not from here. Now, if your neck is like this or like that, it will not sound good. You want the neck to be back. Ah, huh, huh. Okay, and then now everyone take a deep breath to the belly and shout as strong as you can. Ha! Good. So I don't know if you know it about the Zen monks and nuns. That they are not only sitting meditation facing the wall forever. They have also months that are more adventurous. They do karaoke, they dance on the table, they do the shout, they are going sometimes other things that it's webinar. But basically, the Zen is different at Buddhism. It's so we want to express that. We don't want to leave it. So basically, you can start the day with shout like that. Sometimes you can this shout is easier for the mind because it's not like taking a pillow and going all over, right? But it's more like you feel the strength if you do it well. Another way to express anger is to build sentences. Things that you wanted to say to this person, but you never did. For example, it's not justice, it's not fair. Yeah. See me, I'm here. You can write. I'm good enough, for the one that wrote belittling. To write those sentences, the things that you hear inside, but you never expressed, and to just express it. Shout it out, and then it will clean the anger, the specific anger that we are talking about. Yeah. If you have somebody like a parent, a child, a friend, a partner, your mind, and you feel that the anger is mainly on one thing, mainly. So then it's good to create 10 sentences. You can do it as, homework after the webinar, and write those sentences that you hear in your mind. Some people curse as well. The heart is this different language than the mind. The mind is so polite and nice, but inside we can hear all kind of, thoughts that we never share, right? So if you write it on the page, it's only you, between you and yourself, or sometimes in the car. I see people sometimes shout in the car. I love it, like, freaking out. So just use the sentences in order to give yourself voice. When you wrote here in the chat, if somebody is not hearing me, I'm thinking, do you hear yourself? Do you give yourself a voice? So basically, to give yourself the voice, right, that you deserve. When we express the anger by ourselves, we can come calmer. When we are in relationships, we can come calmer to change the contract. We can smile more. We can be nicer. If not, we can be frustrated, and it's like, So I want to encourage you to practice with the anger as much as possible. Again, you can book time with me, and we can explore together what practice is the best for you. There is the 15-minute link. It's very easy. And what do you need in order to connect to the willpower, connect to the energy, not seeing anger as something negative, seeing anger as a potential to learn and to grow, and to have energy to walk in this challenging path of the inner work.